And here we are with Lost Heretic, aka Mike from Darker Days podcast, who right now is going to give you a little plug on how to check out the best podcast for World of Darkness news and info.
Oh yeah, so we actually just got a new domain name, so it's darker-days.org. It takes you straight to our Podbean site with all the podcast episodes, which you can download and listen to. Completely free, it's a real good time, and yeah, plenty of content coming out, a lot of good stuff, all about the World of Darkness.
Absolutely. So, first impressions, here at PAX, anything that really stood out while you perused the hall?
Oh, well, despite it being Easter weekend and all of that, tons of people are here, tons of gamers, a lot of excitement. As you can see back down here, we've got the immense PC gaming area, which people bring their own computers, and they also have computers set up, Alienware, which you can play on the land to just battle down first-person shooters and all that kind of good stuff. Other interesting things I have seen, there's a new Tribes game coming out, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty major first-person shooter franchise, which hasn't had anything recently, but Tribes 2 was pretty epic back 10 years ago, so that's pretty exciting as well. Then you can't see it right, but back behind the partition is the tabletop area. A lot of good companies here, Steve Jackson Games, Paizo, Wizards of the Coast, a lot of stuff. And Peter, what have you been impressed by?
Yeah, well, I gotta say, while I think it's going to occupy a similar but not identical space, I thought the Secret World MMO was very interesting, and I actually got some footage of that, which is going to be in another blog. We've also for the pen and paper, I gotta say, it's still alive and well. If PAX is any indication, pen and paper is absolutely alive and well, in my opinion. And there's a ton, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's a few more pen and paper booths this year than there was last. It seems like it's a bigger presence this year.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a lot more publishers getting on board with PAX, because I think they've really realized that it's not just a video game convention. A lot of tabletop stuff going on, a lot of pen and paper. Paizo's new, and they're huge in the RPG industry, so it's good to see them, and hopefully there'll be more next year.
Absolutely. And of course TSR, or more appropriately Wizards of the Coast. Big presence, really big booth. That Drider, I took some pictures of that. You saw that?
No.
Oh, you didn't see the statue Drider? No. It's a full life-size Drider replica.
Right, the drow spike.
Right.
Yeah. Nice, interesting.
That I thought that was really amazing. I got a picture of that as well. But TSR really, or Wizards of the Coast, big presence, of course. And then there's a lot of other more indie, if you will,
right.
Pen and paper present. So I thought it was a really good. It reassured me, made me feel good about the pen and paper. I really felt that it's kind of resurgence, if you will. Though I really wish White Wolf was here.
It would be nice.
Yeah,
Actually, Matt McElroy from Drive-Thru-RPG is supposedly around, but I haven't run into him, unfortunately.
Yeah, he was on a panel, I think specifically about Drive-Thru-RPG, if I recall correctly, the schedule correctly. But I think we both bumped into some interesting people here, people in the industry. But I don't believe I crossed paths with anyone from that at all.
No. But other than that, pretty good day so far. Played a little V20, Vampire 20th Anniversary Edition.
Yes.
That was pretty crazy. Not so much the horror of that game, a lot more the hilarity. I played a Nosferatu who punched 2 people in the pelvis to prevent them from running away.
With amazing rolls about it. This wasn't just a typical attack roll and defense. Lost Heretic rolled these awesome rolls, 8, 9s, 10s, and the defense was always botches. Yep. And it was just these body-crunching hits that he just incapacitated people virtually with one hit. It was just totally amazing. All throughout the rest of the game, though, he's rolling pretty mediocre, botching some other rolls, knowledge rolls and other kind of sneaking rolls. Nosferatu botching sneaking, imagine that, but he did. But yeah, when it came to the punching action, he was just a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, definitely. And overall, very interesting game. Characters survived, but they were used as pawns by the Prince of the City, for better or worse. And yeah, a fun time was had by all.
Yeah, it was an interesting story, and I got to give shout outs, props to Donovan. I had my basic outline, and I just threw the concept at him, and I just needed a little fleshing out, and he really was really helpful in that plot. So I can't take 100% credit for the details of the story, but he did help flesh it out a little bit. But yeah, it was a good I guess 4.5 hour. We had a pretty straight playthrough, one shot, and yeah, it was really fun. Nosferatu, and then we had another player, Ventru, who to me acted more Brouhaha or perhaps even Gangrel.
Well, the torturing thing was little. I don't know what his character was. Honestly, I don't know his background, but yeah.
Yeah, he
kind of surprised everyone.
Yes, and he had virtually no humanity, and he had no problem just literally breaking legs and arms to get his way. Yeah. A Ventru. Let me rephrase that. A Ventru. Yes.
Yeah.
I think he should have rolled a Brouhaha or a Gangrel. I think that he would have been a little bit.
Maybe. I don't know. But it all worked out in the end.
Yeah, it did. And most of the NPCs I had hooked up with you perished, one way or the other.
Yep.
And you had another Ventru, an NPC Ventru. He required some persuading.
Yes.
You want to fill them in on that?
Well, he was pretty much just a sissy the entire time, so he always wanted to avoid he really just opposed us at every turn, and it was pretty annoying. But some handy manipulation rolls kind of convinced him to follow us. And then in the end, he just kind of ditched our party, and we don't know what happened to him. Maybe he got killed in the blood hunt. Who knows?
Yeah.
And the unfortunately, the super badass Tremere chick that was with us also got dashed.
Due to his cowardice.
Due to his cowardice.
Yes. She was quite helpful in the beginning.
She was. Yeah. She was. I thought for a split second about trying to save her, but no, I had to save my own skin.
Yeah, they were in a very high pressure situation at that point.
Right.
They weren't sure if they were going to take on a pretty potent sheriff Brouhaha or not. And interestingly enough, again, I had the stats of this sheriff. I thought he was a 9th generation Brouhaha. He was pretty tough, and yet you just explain that. Explain what happened there.
Explain what happened with him? We just avoided not fighting him the entire time. It just seemed like a terrible idea. So just a lot of political maneuvering, I guess. Just trying to avoid direct conflict with the tough guy. We did capture some of his lackeys, if you will, but overall, in the end, just confronted the prince with the evidence, and well, the sheriff got staked, so we won in the end.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun. So any last minute thoughts about PAX? One thing, Donovan, who was with me yesterday, we did some video blogging yesterday, and one thing he and I were both talking about, well, certainly the pen and paper and the non-PC gaming aspect, really good. Yep. But as far as the showroom floor, the PC games and such, some of them are really cool, some are very interesting, and we talked about this briefly when we first saw each other, but we didn't feel there was a wow factor. Like last year, there's a couple big things like Darkness 2 and LA Noire, and there was some really wow, that's really looks pretty cool. And here, that was like a real big wow factor. Here, some pretty interesting and definitely some cool stuff, but I can't, not that we've covered every inch of the floor yet, but I haven't been wowed. What about you?
Well, I'd say that last year, a lot of the really good things on the showroom floor were they had an experience to them. Like with Darkness 2, we had to stand in line for a while, but we didn't know what was inside that big black box right in the middle of the floor. And when we got in there, you know, it was all dark. There was the light coming down.
Yeah.
You had the guy explaining to us,
a lot of good ambiance.
You cannot take any video or photos of anything in here.
He was very adamant about that. There was no playing around.
But he was a gentleman, and
he was
really good, and really cared about the project.
They did.
And then last year there was the Duke Nukem thing.
Yeah.
You got to they had the booth babes there. You got pictures with them.
Can't complain about that.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all. This year, you know, there's some like scenery and such. There's like the for Aliens vs Predator. You get into the yellow mech that Ripley piloted in the Aliens movie, which is kind of cool. But mostly it's just very static things, which look nice, but don't really enhance the entire experience of PAX, I feel.
Right. All right. Well, this is Harl and Hair Lost Heretic from Darker Days podcast, and we'll see you soon.